Let's take a closer look at a new stadium in La Liga that will be hosting top-flight Spanish football this season. El Sardinero, the home of Racing Santander, who have just secured promotion to the Spanish elite. Shall we? Hello my friends, today we are heading to Santander. Let's enjoy the cool sea breeze together. Nestled next to sports centers, exhibition halls and a modern park, we find a true temple of the city. El Sardinero, where the heart of real racing club beats the strongest. It is a place where everything blends together, a centenary club, a passionate fan base and a venue that welcomes other sports too. To understand the current Campus de Esporte El Sardinero, it is impossible to ignore its roots. The relationship between Racing and El Sardinero began back on the 16th February 1913 when the original Campus Deportivos El Sardinero were inaugurated with a local tournament and the official presentation of Racing Club. That first stadium served the club for 75 years, officially becoming the club's property in the 1952-53 season after a purchase of 3.5 million pesetas. It remained the Racinguista home until 1984 when it passed into the hands of the city council. It took its final breath on the 15th May 1988 during a 0-0 draw between Racing and Granada before being demolished just weeks later on the 17th June. Today, a plaque in Parque Mesones marks the exact ground where the old stadium stood, a physical reminder that the current El Sardinero was born right next door without ever fully breaking ties with the past. The new stadium, which everyone today simply calls El Sardinero, was built on a plot adjacent to the old one, retaining the name in honor of the Santander neighborhood where it is located. The official inauguration took place on the 20th August 1988 with Mayor Manuel Huerta presiding over the ceremony alongside Racing President Emilio Bolado. The first match was a friendly against Real Oviedo, with the visitors winning 2-0. The first goal in the history of the new ground was scored by striker Carlos Muñoz Cobo. Shortly after, the stadium also hosted an international club friendly between Real Madrid and Everton, a respectful calling card for a venue built to be more than just a home for a local team. Over the years, El Sardinero has consolidated itself as the premier stadium in Cantabria and one of the most significant in Spain, ranking 28th in terms of capacity in the country. Owned by the Santander City Council and serving as the home and symbol of Real Racing Club, the stadium also houses the club's offices and its official shop, turning the complex into a living hub of Racinguista identity. The location is strategic and highly convenient, next to the Palácio de Deportes de Santander, Palácio de Exposições e Congressos and the Parque Vaguada de Las Lamas. It sits in a modern area of the city yet remains close to the famous beaches of El Sardinero. Access is easy for those coming from the city center via the Puerto Chico Tunnel or for those arriving from outside via the Avenida de la Constitución, making matchday a kind of urban ritual. On the pitch, El Sardinero has hosted major moments that go beyond the routine of racing. The Cantabrian regional team found its natural home there, and the Spanish national team has also chosen the stadium on several occasions. It was here that Spain defeated Belgium 2-0 in a 2006 World Cup qualifier, a match that put Santander on the map for great nights involving La Roja. Later, on the 4th of June 2008, the national team returned for a friendly against the United States, winning 1-0 in preparation for Euro 2008. Each of these matches reinforced El Sardinero's reputation as a reliable ground with excellent visibility, a great atmosphere, and a structure capable of hosting top-tier football. Interestingly, despite being a classic football stadium, El Sardinero has not closed itself off to other disciplines. On the 5th of May 2013, the pitch hosted two rugby matches for the first time. In the morning, Independiente Rugby Clube de Santander faced the Clube Alcobendas Rugby in a match that ended in a narrow defeat for the hosts, but secured promotion for Independiente to the División de Honor, the elite of Spanish rugby, for the second time in their history. Later, the stadium hosted the 2013 Copa del Rei final between Valladolid Rugby Associación Club and Ordicia Rugby El Cartia, with Ordicia winning 34-17. This openness to other sports showed that El Sardinero could be both the home of racing and a versatile stage for major sporting events. Architecturally, the stadium was designed to combine comfort and visibility, a priority even at its inauguration. The pitch dimensions are 105 meters by 68 meters, following international standards. Along both touchlines, there is a moat separating the pitch from the stands. Its purpose is clear: to prevent pitch invasions without erecting fences or barriers that obstruct the view of the fans. This concern for visibility is also reflected in the absence of structural columns supporting the roof that would cut across the field of view, ensuring that almost every seat in the ground offers a clear perspective of the match. The internal layout of El Sardinero is one of the most interesting aspects for those who appreciate the details of a stadium. The pitch is surrounded by 5 upper tiers and 4 lower tiers, forming a well-defined ring. Originally, the upper tiers featured white seats, while the lower ones were equipped with blue ones, a combination that directly referenced the flag of Santander and reinforced the bond between club, city, and stadium. Behind the corners of the south stand, a specific area was created for visiting supporters, a space designed to concentrate the away fans with a degree of isolation, yet still integrated into the overall atmosphere of the stadium. This organization into upper and lower levels, plus the dedicated away section, gives El Sardinero a clear and functional configuration where every type of fan has their place. If you are enjoying this, please leave a like, and if you want to know more about stadiums, subscribe to the channel. The stadium is all-seater, fitting it within the category of venues designed for comfort and safety in line with modern European football requirements. There is no mention of bare concrete terraces for the public, reinforcing the idea that the old standing logic has been abandoned over time. In fact, one of the significant modernization projects was the removal of the old standing areas, replaced by seats, which fits the general trend of stadiums seeking to meet UEFA standards. The capacity of El Sardinero has adjusted over the years, always with a focus on comfort, safety, and more recently, visual harmony with the club's identity. For a long time, the combination of white and blue seats was a trademark. However, at the end of 2023, the stadium underwent a major renovation of the seating. All were replaced with green seats, a color intertwined with the history and kit of racing. On the east stand, the word Racing appeared, drawn in giant black and white letters using the seats themselves. At the same time, some rows were removed, reducing the capacity to 21,312. This choice showed that at times the club and the city preferred to sacrifice a few seats in favor of a more comfortable design and a more striking visual impact. Shortly after, however, the capacity grew again. In January 2025, seats were installed in the last row of all stands, raising the capacity to the current 20,308. In practice, this reorganization has reinforced the compact nature of the stadium. It is not giant in terms of absolute numbers, but it is one of the great medium-sized temples in Spain, with a capacity that balances an intense atmosphere with a good experience for the spectators. Within this global capacity, each of the stands, distributed between upper and lower levels, plus the away sector, fits together like a well-assembled jigsaw, where the goal is to keep the public close to the pitch without losing the feeling of an immersive arena. From a regulatory standpoint, El Sardinero has also had to evolve. Before 2008, the club promoted a series of renovations to modernize the stadium. Beyond the end of standing areas and the adaptation of the stands, Racing moved its headquarters from the Paseo de Pereda to the stadium itself in 1997, strengthening the link between administration, team, and matchday home. The executive boxes were improved, and in 1999, 2 electronic scoreboards were installed, a technological leap for the time. When the club qualified for the UEFA Cup in the late 2000s, El Sardinero had to take a step forward, meeting the minimum requirements to host official European matches, which meant a new cycle of construction work. These adaptations carried out around 2008 were quite specific. The stadium floodlights had to be upgraded to reach a level of 1200 lux, ensuring adequate lighting for international broadcasts and top-level night matches. Spaces that were more comfortable, safe, and offered good visibility were reserved for disabled spectators, previously concentrated in the north and south. Preferencias meeting a growing demand for accessibility. The players' tunnel to the pitch needed to be telescopic and made of fireproof material, a technical detail but fundamental for safety. The press areas were also reorganized. Access to the pitch from the dressing rooms was prohibited, the mixed zone was expanded, a specific entrance for journalists was created, and the press room gained a minimum capacity of 50 seats. All this reconfiguration not only met UEFA regulations but elevated the stadium to a new level of professionalism. More recently, visual modernization also extended to the scoreboards. Since 2017, El Sardinero has featured large electronic screens about 50 meters long by 4 meters high. That is no small feat. It is one of the largest scoreboard systems in Spain, trailing only those installed at Riazor in La Coruña and the Santiago Bernabéu in Madrid. These giant panels reinforce the feeling of a multisensory spectacle, combining the live match with statistics, replays, and messages to the fans, in line with what is expected of a stadium that wants to remain relevant in an increasingly competitive landscape. All this makes El Sardinero a stadium that stands out more for the coherence of the whole than for any single isolated element. It is the home of Real Racing Club, the biggest club in Cantabria, the pride of the city of Santander, and it belongs to the city council, which creates a triple relationship between the club, the people, and the local government. Located in an easily accessible area just a few steps from other major sporting and cultural structures and near the sea, the stadium integrates into the urban landscape as a meeting place. It has hosted racing matches, the Cantabrian national team, the Spanish national team, decisive rugby matches, and even cup finals in other sports, proving that it is a versatile stage ready for different spectacles. As for the future, the recent renovations, especially the seat replacement, the visual redesign of the stands, and the capacity expansion in 2025 show that El Sardinero is not a static stadium. Although there is no detailed plan for new construction in the available information, the history of adaptations to UEFA regulations, the constant improvements in accessibility, lighting and comfort, and the modernization of the scoreboards indicate a clear path, that of a stadium that adjusts to the demands of time without losing its essence. In other words, a place where the green of racing and the passion of Santander continue to find week after week the perfect stage for new stories. Before I go, I will leave another video on the card for you to click on and follow with us. Leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Cheers!